Howdy, everybody, and welcome back to Cosplay as a Community. I am Jade Torres, your host. Thank you so much for listening or watching. But remember, you can always find the past episodes on Spotify and on YouTube. As you can see, you can notice I'm not in my parents' bedroom anymore. I am in my room up in College Station now. So hopefully, this will be a more permanent setup. Hopefully, the case so we won't have to move around anymore. But without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our next cosplay guest for today. Whiz is a DFW cosplayer that has been cosplaying and going to conventions for 10 years. Getting his start while serving in the US Air Force, he has cosplayed many characters from different franchises, most notably Jean Arc from Ruby and Tactical Team Rocket from Pokemon. He mainly specializes in prop making and foam armor building and strives to get better with each build. Since starting in 2016, Wiz has been to nearly 70 conventions and isn't stopping anytime soon. So, hi Wiz! It's nice to have you on the show.
Hello. Yes, I'm so happy to be on here. Happy to do this. So I'm ready to go.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you were gearing up with the shades. I saw you put them on. I was like,
Oh
whoa!
yeah. I'm not gonna have them on the whole time. Just wanted to do it for the intro. So
Oh, I love it. So, let's go ahead and let's get started. So, how did you get started cosplaying?
so I got started. I first heard about it when I was like a teenager. I would watch the original G4 back in the day, and every year they would do a coverage of San Diego Comic-Con. And first of all, I was like, oh my God, there's this place for people like me and they don't get made fun of. And there's also people who dress up as their favorite characters and everything. I was like, oh my God, I want to do that. So that was like way back when I was a teenager. Fast forward to 2016 when I'm in the Air Force, I finally have the money and the time, and I finally go to my first convention. I have a blast with that. And then I think the second convention I went to is when I actually cosplayed. I cosplayed Kevin Owens from WWE and Red Hood from DC Comics. And I had an absolute blast with that. And I just got addicted from there.
Oh my gosh. I feel like that's always like everyone's first introduction to cosplay is going to a convention and then you're so worried about like someone not recognizing your costume or anything and then when they do it's like I'm like, "Oh my gosh, like finally." But yeah, so I do want to start out by saying thank you for your service. I went to A&M. I'm an A&M alumni. I'm a former student. So, the military is very heavily here and we have a heavy and rich military history here and my grandfather also served in the military. So, I really do appreciate you for your service and what you've done for our country. So, thank you so much. But what going into that, what made you want to enlist or what made you want to join the military?
Yeah, originally I actually never really planned on going into the military. My initial plans was like graduate high school, go to college and all that good stuff, but I realized pretty quickly that wasn't really in the cards, like financially wise. Like my family wouldn't have been able to really help out with that. And if I were to like provide for myself, I'd have to like get like maybe a couple part-time jobs and whatever on top of doing school, and that just would have been miserable. So during my senior year of high school, my parents started somewhat pushing me. Well, not pushing me, but like saying like, "Hey, maybe consider doing the military and stuff." I've had multiple people in my family go in the military, so there's a little history with that. So yeah, I just did all the steps with that. I did the Air Force. I did the Air Force for 6 years, from 2014 to 2020 as an aircraft maintainer. So I fixed up jets for my military career.
That's really cool. I have a friend who was like doing Space Force and Air Force stuff too. So I always see it's so funny because on Simpson drill fields, like at A&M, they like bring the choppers like down like onto Simpson drill fields so you can like hear them whizzing outside. So I always think of the Air Force when I think of like my friends in the Corps and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. So going from all that, was did you always want to cosplay like even like during the military? Like how was that how did you make that transition?
Yeah, I've always wanted to cosplay. Like I said, as a teenager, just seeing that stuff early on, I was like, man, I really want to do that. That's really cool. Because I mean, like a lot of us who were into nerdy stuff, we got made fun of in school. So it was nice to see stuff that like we could have a place to where we could do what we like and not get made fun of and just be around like-minded people and also get to dress up as our favorite characters and everything. So yeah, I've always always wanted to do that even when in the military. Is just I had to wait a little bit to like get some money and have some time to actually go do that stuff. But then once I started doing conventions and cosplaying, I just was hooked ever since. So, um, yeah.
Yeah, that's how I felt too. I was like, "Oh my gosh, once I get out of college and I'm able to like do what I want, I'm already thinking of all of the builds and all of the things I'm gonna do." So that was definitely like at least becoming an adult from like becoming being a student to being like an actual adult in a sense. It's been really cool. So did being in the military either influence like any of the cosplays you do, or like how do you think it influences your cosplay style in a sense?
I think it influences if it influences it a little bit. As I mean, you can see the tactical Team Rocket gear. This actually came from an idea that a buddy of mine had. I was on leave with family at South Padre Island like years ago, and I got a message from him like showing me like it was a picture of like a dude in like full on tactical gear, like the helmet, vest, like everything. He had like Pokeballs on his vest and everywhere. And he said, like, I think we can do something like this. And I'm like, hey, I'm all for it. I'm not as much into Pokemon anymore. I still like it to a certain extent. Like I still appreciate it and everything. I mean, like grab them over here. I always have a little Raichu in my backpack whenever I do the cosplay. And I actually just added the little hat to him like recently. It was at Anime Frontier. If you probably saw me, he had a little
Mhm.
Christmas hat on, and I'm like, man, I feel kind of naked without any headgear on. I used to wear a beret with this, but I believe I got the beret in like a small in a size that's a bit too small for my head. So as it went on, um, it would start like squeezing my head. So eventually, I just got rid of the beret and I just rocked my normal hair. But I'm like, well, if Raichu's got a hat, I should have a hat too. And so I just went with the cowboy hat. Um, but yeah, back to the original story. Yeah, um, we wanted to do the tactical gear because we feel like we could really do it well. Because being in the military, you kind of know what stuff is supposed to look like. Because like when you see some people do certain things that have some tactical flair to it or whatever, they may not go all the way into it. They only do like maybe part way or whatever. But we were like, okay, we could really do this very really well because we know what things should look like, what to get, and everything. And we got a whole group together. We did it at Dragon Con 2017, and it's been going on ever since. I always have such a fun time with that. Um, let's see, and I think also go to answer the question a little further. Um, I think it really influences other parts of my cosplay that aren't tactical. It helps me like pay attention to the little things because the little things can turn into big things if you don't do the little things right. And that's definitely something the military kind of hammers in. It's like doing the basic and doing the little things right. That way they don't end up messing up the big picture overall.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely like that you brought up the attention to detail because that is so something I think that cosplayers like also take pride on in a sense too. Um when it comes to like making their costumes and designing their costumes, like the attention to detail that some people go down to is absolutely insane. Because I've had a couple of friends either they'll sketch something out or they'll be like so focused on the detail. They're like, I want to look as much like this character. They're like, I want to look as much as this person like as possible to where it if someone came up to me, like they would feel like they're meeting the actual character. So do you kind of feel like in that same way when you make your stuff?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, just doing like just little things that maybe I only pay attention to, and I'm like, if I add this little detail here, I think it's really gonna like make it pop or make it like so I like maybe just one person beside myself is gonna recognize that detail, and that's just like ah.
Yeah, but if, like, someone recognizes it, then you're like, "Oh my gosh," like, "I'm
Oh
so happy
yeah.
you did," you know?
Especially, like, if you're competing, like, even the little small details, like, they look 'cause they're looking at everything. They look at your seams, they look at, like, where the foam meets, they look at little things that you did. Maybe you're doing like, sometimes they like seeing, um, just stuff that people don't see, like, regularly when you're just walking around in the con. The judges see that attention to detail, and that really boosts you up compared to your friendly competition.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. At least from whenever I've seen like competing, like the attention to detail is something they definitely mark down. Like if you're going into cosplay contests, like or prejudging and stuff like that. So, going into that, you said that you were very proficient in armor making and then weapon making. So, do you again like even with those types of like art forms, do you find yourself also paying attention to the very like minute details when you make those items?
Yeah, yeah, I definitely liked, try to make it as close as I can, and, like, when I say I'm proficient, it's I ha I just happen that just happened to be, like, the thing that I ended up being somewhat good at because, like, I will say my first armor was rough. It was very rough because I had no idea what I was doing. I was just, like I just saw videos of, like, how people did this, and I'm like, "How okay, but that doesn't explain how you did that." It's like, I only see what you did, and I'm like, "Okay, maybe I somewhat copy that?" And so I tried to do that and it just was bad. And also I waited to the last minute to do certain things. So my first armor was rough to say the least. But you know what? I took it as a learning experience because the next armor I made was a million times better than what the first armor turned into. So yeah, I always try my best to make it, as best as as I possibly can. And like like I said, even in my bio, it's like I try and strive for each armor and each build to be better than the next. And I'm always learning things. I'm always finding new things. I'm like, oh dang, I didn't know about that. I'll have to apply that to something else or whatever. So I'm always improving.
Yeah, and it's something that a lot of the cosplayers on my show and people with me have also expressed the same kind of thing. I keep elaborating or I keep saying every time on the show, like cosplay is a journey. That's something one of my guests said, and I will totally agree with them on that because it really is. You're learning so many new things and you're learning them so quickly or you're learning them to meet some sort of deadline in your head, but it's like you can go back and look at your first build and you're like, wow, this was kind of awful, but like you can learn and you can pick up on the different techniques and stuff like that too.
Oh yeah.
So I find that it's really helpful. Um, so what is your process when it comes to either making like a new armor piece or a new prop piece? Since we haven't really talked about armor making or prop making on the show, surprisingly enough. So yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead and
So
give them their
um
process.
so so I obviously everybody's different with their processes. Everybody does things how it fits for them and what's more comfortable with them. For me, like if it's something that's been built before, I like to see if I can find any templates. Because sometimes trying to like freehand a design is not always the best. Um, I've had to do that a couple times with Jean because there's not really any templates for his armor. It's mostly just looking at references, look like either on a reference sheet that they put out or just looking at um, still images from the show and just like, okay, I have to make it as close to that as I can. Um, but actually, recently the Red Hood armor was a template, so I'm very happy that I was able to find that and use that as a template. but yeah, like most armor builds is most especially if you're doing like torso or any parts of your body, you do the whole saran wrap tape job, get on the parts of your body that you want done, and then you cut that off, and then you do the whole taking a Sharpie or pen or whatever and just mapping your design to see um not only getting the design that you want, but also making sure that it fits your body properly, and you're not just doing it just to get the design that you want. You want it to properly fit your body so it's not pinching or hitting your body in ways that you don't want it to. And then from there, take that pattern, and I mostly do foam. Um, so I translate the patterns to foam, and then do voodoo magic, shaping the foam to the way I want it to, and then go to paint, and it's pretty much done.
Oh my gosh. And foam crafting is I remember my friends started doing foam crafting like recently and they're like, "Oh my god, this is so hard." Cuz
Yeah.
you have to use like the heat gun and everything to
Mhm.
like to it. So like when you make a property like are making armor, do you like use EVA or do you use like a different sort of craft foam? Like what materials are you using
I
for that?
I normally use EVA. I normally use EVA foam. Um, I don't re I don't really use craft foam unless I absolutely have to, because EVA foam, it comes in all, densities and sizes, so you're able to get what you need without having to go to craft foam. Because I mean, craft foam's really it's cheap and stuff, so if you can get EVA foam, it really works, especially the one that I use is peak, uh, so yeah.
Yeah. What's your favorite piece that you've made so far?
Oh man, it's like trying to pick my favorite child. Man, I would say I think the whole like out of the whole armor I've made, probably the Rusted Knight Jean Arc armor that I did, because I'm just really proud of like how everything turned out. Because I that was like the first time I really like did weathering on stuff. And I learned so many different techniques and learned about new products with this. And so I'm just like, I love, even though it's a full body armor and everything, and at times like certain pieces will come off. They go back on pretty easily, but overall, it's just I love what went into that armor and how it looks. Like anytime I wear it, and everybody's just like, "Oh my god, that looks so good," and everything. Like actually, I have I'll pull one piece over here.
Oh wow.
Yeah, this is
That's
actually the
so
first helmet
cool.
I ever made. So
That's sick. You know what that
yeah.
reminds me of? There's a game, it's probably one of my favorite games. It's called Darkest Dungeon. That's
Hmm.
what that kind of like style reminds me of like the really weathered looking armor.
Oh
So that's
yeah,
just so cool.
yeah, and also like I the faceplate swivels, so like I can if I don't feel like just having the faceplate on the whole time. I mean, I can clearly see with the visor. I can see fine and breathe, obviously with the with the little holes here. But like if I just feel like I don't want this on, I could just swivel it up and stuff. So I'm
That's
really
so
proud of this
cool.
piece too. There's still some things I need to improve on if whenever I make a new helmet. But overall, I am happy with this, and I'm happy with um the Rusted Knight armor that I did.
That's so cool. You're so talented.
Thank you. I've I've come a long way. I'll say that. Like, I'm really happy with how I've progressed as a cosplayer from like where I started to where I am now. Especially now, like I'm still new to like getting photo shoots done and whatever. So the fact that I'm getting like really nice pictures of the cosplays that I've done is just really nice to see, and people liking them. And I'm like, yes, I need to do this more.
That's how it starts. You're always like, "Oh my gosh, like, I don't know if anyone will like it." And then you're like, "No, wait, why? Oh my gosh, everybody likes this one thing." I'm like,
Oh
"I'm gonna
yeah.
do it more." Like, I get that part too. So, for someone who wants to get into this, how would you suggest that they start doing it?
I would say start with something small definitely find something that is somewhat simple to where um it's not too crazy, and you at least get your feet wet, whether it's a prop or armor. Just find something obviously that grooves with you, that it's something that you want to do. But it's not like too crazy to where you get discouraged and it's like, ah, why did I even do this and whatever. And I would also say be patient with it, as someone um who would who would go on and do more and more of this. Like, definitely be patient with yourself and be patient with the process, because like you start doing it and you're like, well, how does this become this? Like, how do I get from here to here? It's like it takes time. Be patient with it, and be patient with yourself, because it's not going to come out good the first time. Like I said, my first armor, I did Jean Arc, his volume 4 through 6 armor. It was rough. It was bad. It was falling apart on me. But I learned from it. I got better, and I'm happy with how my armors have turned out since then. So it's patience. Patience is like the biggest thing when it comes to doing that.
And I feel like that's something just normal in cosplay too, is to just be patient with yourself. I
Hmm.
feel like there's so much um like I mean, social media plays a part in it too. I mean, you see so many people and so many like good, or like what we would consider like good cosplayers like out there, and they're like making all these builds and they're making all these things. So it's like really hard not to judge yourself. So I feel like that's really good advice, is to just have patience with it, and go along your cosplay journey however you want.
Oh yeah.
Um but yeah, unfortunately though, we're almost out of time, which I'm really sad about because I've enjoyed talking to you.
Oh yeah.
But
I've enjoyed my time.
but yes, I have one last question for you. You answer it however you'd like. And it is, how has cosplay shaped you as an individual?
I would say I would also like throw it in with the military as well, since we've been talking about that as well, because they kind of go a little bit hand in hand. I'm definitely a different person than like the person you're talking with right now is a much different person than like when I went to the military and before I started doing cosplay and going to conventions and stuff. I was a lot more reserved, not as talkative, a little bit more introverted, and also I'm a little bit more confident in myself. That's still, a work in progress. That'll always be a work in progress with me. But my confidence in myself and how I do things is so much better now through doing cosplay, and I've being more sociable and everything has allowed me to become friends with people in this community, and I've I've become friends with so many different people from different walks of life and everything. And I've seen all the stuff that they can do, and I'm like, man, like, oh, I love being part of this community. And I love seeing all the stuff that they do, and we share ideas and everything, and we potentially collab on certain things and stuff. So, yeah, cosplay has definitely changed me for the better.
I love that, truly. I agree. That's why I love all cosplays, for all those same reasons. It's such a great community, and you get to meet so many different people, and you get to see so many different talented individuals. Like it truly is like one of a kind, in my
Oh
opinion.
yeah.
It's just so unique, and that's why I do this podcast. So, but
Oh yeah.
yes,
I'm happy you do this podcast because like
thank you.
because I mean I definitely see some cosplay podcasts and stuff, but I like seeing, I guess, especially from someone who's like somewhat who's local to Texas and everything, and you're interviewing people that I'm like, oh hey, I know some of these people, I'm friends with some of these people, but also I'm seeing people who are around Texas, and I'm like, oh, I've never heard of them. It's like, oh, that's so cool. So
Well, thank you so much, and thank you for being on the podcast.
oh
But
yes.
unfortunately, we are out of time for today. But do tell them where they can follow you on social media and where they can see more of your work.
Ah, yes. So I only really do my cosplay stuff on my Instagram, which is Whiz Cosplay Creations. Whiz spelled WHIZ Cosplay Creations, all in one word. I post, like I said, I post my cosplay stuff. I've also been recently been posting past convention stuff because I'm celebrating like a decade of conventions because I started in 2016, and this year marks my 10th year doing it. So I've been posting slash reposting old con stuff, and it's fun seeing just going down memory lane. Just like, oh man, it's like seeing all the people I've met, seeing how I've progressed as a cosplayer. So it's been really fun doing that. So check that out.
Happy 10th anniversary! Yay!
Thank you. Yeah,
That's so fun.
it's crazy that I'm almost to 70 conventions. That's insane. Like I'm just like at a certain point I'm like, I need to count how many I've been to. And I'm like, oh my God, I've been to so many.
That's never a problem though. Like I was
Yeah.
counting my badges the other day and I'm like, "Oh my gosh." I'm like, "How many like that's a lot of cons." Like and I've been
Yeah.
going for almost as long as you. So I'm like, "Oh my god."
Yeah, the thing is, like, I don't have my badges on a door. Like, I have them in. They're actually spread out between two photo books, like photo albums
Oh,
and
cool.
stuff. That's how many I have, and I'm just like, because I used to have them on my door, but I'm like that's taking up a lot of space. I need to find somewhere else to put my badges and stuff. So I'm like, oh, let me do a photo book and along with photos that go with certain events and everything.
Well, that's amazing. Well, thank you, Wiz, for being on the podcast today. And thank you for watching or listening. Remember, you can listen to any of the past episodes for season 1 or season 2 on both Spotify and YouTube. That is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for listening. And remember, cosplay is a community, so make it one. Goodbye, and we'll see you in the next episode.